sounds like you're trying to bring City Hall back down to the people so the people are aware of what's actually going on so they can have an effect on the community.
Absolutely. And I would just further add to that that would, the other benefit to that, of course, would be, it's, kind of like open carry. If you show...
We're getting to that.
We're getting to that. But if you show, like if somebody, people come to me because they believe, since I'm, pro Second Amendment, that, oh, well, I want my my CCW, my concealed carry permit. And I'm not really a great advocate of concealed because I believe a lot of the problems are solved with the presence.
Since you brought that up,
well, since we're going there, yeah.
Right onto that. Okay, when you were talking about open carry the other day at the, now let's see if I can get this right, the Tea Party Patriots of Modesto, when we were at that meet and greet when I first met you, you were saying open carry, and the first thing that I thought of was like smart and final, cash and carry. I didn't know what open carry meant. What does it mean?
Well, open carry is a right that we all possess in every state in the United States, according to the U.S. Constitution, Second Amendment, is the right to bear arms. That's simply it. That's the right to wear side-holstered a weapon to show that you're armed.
Now, some states have that, don't they? I thought Arizona had that.
Well, see, some states are more promoting for that. California has that as well. You just can't have the ammunition loaded. Okay. But there are techniques available so that you can quickly load ammunition too, and the only reason for open carry, of course, is to defend yourself. But it's it's kind of like a power base.
Why?
The idea is if you present and you have the presence that you're armed, in this way, much is prevented.
So you think having an open weapon, when you're carrying an open weapon, you think it might deter crime?
Oh, absolutely, and it has been shown to in other states that practice it primarily, especially in various parts of Arizona where the crime levels have plummeted. We're talking about primarily violent crime in which firearms are used. When people know the neighbors are armed, you don't have to have as many neighborhood watch meetings.
Well, getting back to what the Modesto Bee said about you being erratic.
That was what Judy Sly said about me.
Yes, and that I think is, she said entertaining but erratic. I found that I kind of embraced that opinion when I saw you at the Tea Party Patriots meet and greet, because I didn't understand what you were talking about.
And that's precisely, I think, why she used that word, was because she did not understand all that I was talking about.
You were talking about, they seemed to be talking about, the questions seemed to be talking about one thing, and then all of a sudden you started talking about the Federal Reserve, and that was way over my head.
Exactly.
Above my pay scale.
The question that brought that on was Agenda 21, which has been going on for approximately 3 decades. And Agenda 21 is not just a cash cow for developers to build unneeded, or well, possibly not unneeded, but unnecessary in its own time, green solar powering, as you wish. It is a plan, if you read the Agenda 21, to move the people from the countries into the cities, to eliminate vehicles and produce one rail. Basically, to, as many people that call themselves constitutionalists within the Tea Party Patriots across the United States, and myself, consider to be much worse than communism, to consider the industrialization as a slavery of race, a post-industrial action perpetrated by the elite. So when I started talking about the Federal Reserve, that had a lot of connotations to it, that I was really trying to dial in to constitutionalists that were in the Tea Party, understood exactly what I meant. Because they've seen gold skyrocket up, and nobody can really tell you why, other than the dollar is becoming every day more and more devalued.
They only gave you, I think it was a minute. At first it was 45 seconds, but then they only gave you a minute to answer the question. So
I had to be pretty cryptic.
Yeah, so take another minute now and kind of explain about the gold and the Federal Reserve, and explain it to me so that I can understand it, because, when we were talking the other day in the pre-interview, you had said something about there being no gold in Fort Knox anymore.
Yes.
So what's up with that?
Well, some of this is a lot, it's kind of new to me, but I mean, it's, there's some stuff that has a lot of truth. What I found was, listening to the Jesse Ventura or the Alex Jones. I have friends that, follow them faithfully. And I would hear some of the things they would say, and I was dismissing, when they would tell me about things that happened in history, I was dismissing these events they were telling me about as conspiracy. But then when I looked them up, I found out that they really were history. Like in 1933, the government made it a requirement for every American citizen to turn in their gold. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Exactly. Did you know that the Federal Reserve has not been audited since its first year in existence, which was over 100 years ago?
Well, speaking of auditing, we're going to be talking about another organization here in the Modesto area that is under auditing right now. But before we get to that, I want to talk to Chance about conspiracy theory. Do you have any input about, are you a student currently at MJC? Mm-hmm. And so do you have discussions there about possible conspiracy theories or what the federal government is doing with our money or without our money?
We pretty much just kind of keep to the mainstream thought that's going on. We might touch on conspiracy theories a little bit, but it's never given a serious discussion. It's never looked at in depth. It's not exactly dismissed, but it's not also looked at too seriously.
Now, what is your personal opinion about what's going on with the Federal Reserve and Agenda 21 and where our government is going? It kind of sounds like, from what Robert's saying, that it's going in the direction of
a new world order.
A new world order.
Yeah, it would certainly seem like that a lot of the time, but they are the government. I don't know how they can pull that off without really messing it up themselves. But also keeping abreast of even the rumors of conspiracy theories, just knowing what's out there and what people are talking about can often change the way things go, even just a little bit. Because even if none of it happens, it's just scary to think that somebody who has that much power and controls that much resources as, say, the federal government or the UN would even be considering, some of these ideas. Like, I've heard of Agenda 21 before. I knew it as the rewilding plan, moving everybody to compact urban centers.
Cities. Even Brad Hahn reiterated that, saying there was to move people into high-rises, telling them where they live, how much money they can have.
Well, without talking too much about Brad Hahn, I want to get back to this Agenda 21. It almost sounds like Agenda 21, just hearing it right now, that it's like moving people into the Warsaw Ghetto.
Yes.
Is that what am I understanding that right?
Captures my attention.
Now, you had said the other day that your family is Jewish?
Yes, I had family that were, I don't know about Warsaw, but I had family that was in Auschwitz.
So things like this kind of get your attention.
Well, this and other things. It's just that it's nothing's ever really gone away. It wasn't anything new when World War II came about. It just happened to be we had become industrialized to the point that technology advanced enough that we could produce genocide
at
a big scale.
Chance, do you see it that way too?
Yeah, that would seem to be what all the literature available says. Finding out, source documents, trying to get to right where they wrote it down can be kind of tough. So you have to dig around a lot. You have to kind of listen to some people who are talking about. A lot of this stuff already sounds kind of wacky, but then there's some other people who take it 2 steps farther than wacky. And sometimes you have
That's a good point.
You have to sit through those people to kind of really find out what's going on.
Kind of follow it.
And make up, really what I think it comes down to is just hear what these people have to say and then make up your own mind about it.
Now, where do you find your resources? Is there a resource place at the college, or do you find it online?
A lot of it is online. There's a lot of stuff I found out about just because I was able to access the internet. I've noticed Barnes & Noble carries a lot of books along these lines now, whereas about 10 years ago it was just stuff I saw online and I have to pay, $30 plus shipping and handling to get. But now it's becoming a lot more available. It's a lot easier to find online, and bookstores are carrying some of this information now.